You might recall that All for One Productions had a show in March. So that finishes their season, right? Well, not so fast. They have another production fast approaching that is a bit out of the ordinary, or as they like to say, out of the box. I'm Scott Kump, and today on Life and Faith Indiana, Stacey, Kuster, and Torilinn Cwanek with All for One Productions have joined me to invite you to this season's Out of the Box production. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, Scott.
Hello.
Now, Stacey, you've been in the studio many times with us. You're the executive director of All for One.
Yes.
And you're also directing this current production.
Yes, I am directing it.
Give us a re-intro to All for One Productions.
Okay, well, All for One Productions is a faith-based community theater company based in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and we've been around for 30-some odd years. I want to say 33, but don't quote me. And so, yeah, we've been around for a while, and we produce a season of God-honoring theater in Fort Wayne. And
it used to be you would do 4 what you call main stage productions.
Right.
Two full-length show, 2 acts, 4 of those per season in the Arts Lab, the
Black Box Theater,
Theater
on Main Street, yeah.
And that has changed over the last couple of seasons. Now you're still doing 2 main stage productions there in the Black Box. And we call it a Black Box because you can put the stage and the audience anywhere.
Just because of, the type of theater it is a Black Box, yeah.
So you're doing 2 of those, and then the third, you're always doing a sacred Christmas show at a local church. And the 4th one is Out of the Box.
Out of the Box.
And I'm guessing part of the reason for that term is because it's not in the Black Box.
Exactly right. And Out of the Box is sort of the umbrella title for the program. Out of the Box, an evening of story and song. The location will change. Last year, we were at our own space. We used our rehearsal room as our performance space. And this year, we have partnered with Life Community Church in Bluffton, and we'll be using it's actually their youth room, I believe. They have a really big stage that maybe someday we'll use, but this room is the perfect size for this program, and it seats 50 to 55 people probably. So it'll be a nice, intimate evening, being able to be up close and personal with the actors. And every Out of the Box is a little bit different. So last year was in February, and the theme was relationships because February, Valentine's Day, a little obvious, but that's what we did. This year, the theme is more teamwork, cooperation, kind of highlighting the truth of Philippians 2, 3-4. So what we did this year with the team that we assembled, it's a group of 5 young adults who for a number of years, as early as 2014, have been involved in one way or another with All for One.
When they were small.
When they were small, yes. All of them were involved with our Young Playwrights Festival when they were in grade school, middle school, high school. They've also, most of them, been on our main stage in one capacity. Well, actually, they've all been involved.
Yes.
4 of the 5 have been on stage with us, and the 5th one has composed incidental music for us, has run sound and lights. So I keep wanting to call them kids. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I call them the Kid Squad.
These young adults.
I'm not offended.
Because they are a pretty tight unit. I mean, I've seen them.
And they have been friends for probably as long as they have been involved with All for One.
Pretty close.
This is a tight group of young adults who have asked us a lot recently, when are you guys going to do stuff for us? There's parts for people our age. And we said, well, you know what? Y'all
do it yourself.
Right? Exactly. And so we've had this opportunity to really kind of nurture some of their skills, their playwriting skills. 3 of the 5 are the authors of the 2 one-acts that we will be producing. So it's been really fun to work with them on that. And Tori, who's here with us today, is also our music director for the show because there are going to be a couple of musical interludes that they'll be involved in.
You are the 5th person she mentioned.
Yeah.
The only one out of the 5 who has not actually appeared on the main stage.
Yeah.
But you've been involved with main stage productions and a lot of other aspects of All for One for over a decade now.
Yeah, I think I was 9 or 10. Lauren Nichols is my piano teacher. And I was just writing music for fun, just little songs. And I played one for her at a practice once, and I just saw this light bulb go off over her head. And she was like, it would be so cool to have music written by a little girl in their production of A Little Princess that's focused on this little girl's journey. And so it just kind of grew from there. Every couple years, I'll come in and do the music for a show that we feel like matches my style or would be a good challenge for me.
Now, how many have you composed for total?
I want to say 5 or 6.
Yeah. You and I actually kind of tag teamed on The Princess and the Goblin.
Yeah,
you wrote most
definitely.
of the music. We used a couple things that I had written when we did it 10 years earlier with Esther Powers, who was another one of the 5, and she was a wee little thing at the time. And then Zach was in it the second time.
And Allie.
And Allie was in
and
it.
Isaiah.
And
All of
Isaiah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah. So all of them,
something
all
about
5
that
of them,
Goblin
something
production.
about that show. All 5 of them at one time or another were involved with it.
And Tori, you've also run sound in the booth a few
couple times, yeah.
You were involved in Young Playwrights, both as a writer and as an actress?
Yeah, yes. Both my sister and I wrote several years in a row. And most years I didn't win, but I was like, it's fine, I'll just act in it instead.
So, as you mentioned, these are 2 one-act dramas. One was written, Tori, by your sister, Allie, and the other one was written by you and Esther. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So what are these 2 shows?
Well, I'm going to let Tori talk about You're in Jeopardy because that's the one that she and Esther wrote together.
So we had this concept for a game show that just goes horribly wrong. And so it started from there once we kind of knew the theme was like relationships, but more friendship than like romantic, like the last out of the box
Learning
was.
how to work together.
Yeah, like compromise. Yeah. And so it kind of grew out of that. And so it was fun writing it, like all the different comedic opportunities that present themselves with that type of setting.
Yeah.
Yep, ran out of words, sorry.
Yeah, it's very madcap is a good way to describe that one. And it's very funny. I don't want to talk it up too much, but
You have to come see it.
I die laughing.
It is very funny.
Every time we rehearse it. It's so fun.
These are 5 hams too, so
for sure. For sure. They are all
it's a dangerous combination.
Very talented actors, all 5 of them. So it's fun.
Now, this other one written by your sister, Allie, I think I recognize the title. Didn't this start as a Young Playwrights project?
Yeah, so her last year that she was eligible to write in Young Playwrights, she wrote this small, like 10-minute play, because they couldn't be very long for Young Playwrights, called Writer's Block. And it felt like there was a really great concept there that had more room to be expanded on.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's actually very different than if you saw the original, it'll be a lot different, but the main idea is still there and just been expanded on.
Yeah, so it's these 2 writers who are trying to collaborate and they just get stuck and they've got to figure out how to get past their moment of being stuck, plus figuring out how to work together and respect each other's ideas and not be constantly criticizing and shooting down and all of that.
The initial one I saw, they had, as they're trying to write and argue about, you had the characters that they were writing off, and they'd say, well, now he's going to go in this direction, or now he has this hat on,
and then
or
the actors would do
trips
it.
him, and the actors would do it.
It's the same concept.
Okay,
yes.
so
We're doing that again.
I don't know if anybody gets tripped, but that's I'm just going off of memory.
Right.
Yeah.
But I remember it being funny, so...
And this one is funny too.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun.
So if I want tickets to this, it's best to buy them in advance, right? Because the seating is limited.
Because the seating is very limited. Like I said, we're going to have about 50 people, I think, seated in that room. So you can go online, allfor1fw.org. Just click on the out-of-the-box logo that's on that front page, and it'll take you to the page where you can buy tickets.
Yeah. I'm looking at one of the flyers you gave me. If they come across those, there's a QR code right on there.
Yeah, super handy. Scan the QR code.
So, now, you mentioned that music is also a part of this. Not any original music this time.
It's actually kind of strange. Most of the time, if I'm doing music as an aspect of an AFO show, it's because I wrote it. But this time, we're just doing a couple covers that we felt really matched the tone of the show.
And are these songs that people might recognize?
Oh, definitely. We're hoping they'll sing along.
Yeah, absolutely. But we want it to be a surprise.
Okay, so we're not going to reveal the titles of the song.
But they'll know them, and we're going to work on getting them to sing with us.
Stacey, you've directed some of the young playwrights.
Some of the
Is this
young
the first time
playwrights.
you've directed anything bigger like this?
Yes, if you don't count church musicals.
Okay.
But yeah, for All for One, this is the biggest thing that I've directed.
That's the interesting thing about All for One is you find multiple ways to plug in any volunteer or staff member because you've been in several of the in fact, you were in the most recent.
Yeah, in March.
They find plenty of ways to use you, and you always need more volunteers, and you're always you're always auditioning people for shows.
And all of that information you can get on our website. You can find links to sign up for our newsletters, to sign up for information about volunteering. All of that you can find on our webpage.
So, as we mentioned, this is the final show of this particular season. You have 3 of your 4 for next season fairly well planned.
Yes.
And the 4th is in the planning stages.
Exactly.
And you're going to open with, it's a premiere, in effect, and it's a sequel.
It's a world premiere. And it's a sequel to our last world premiere of Winnie the Pooh, A Dream of Honey. And this October, we're doing Winnie the Pooh, Homeward Bounce. And this one features Tigger. And it also features Roo and their kind of bouncy relationship that they have. And
most of the cast from the first one has returned.
Yes, most of it has. And it's the same framework as the original Pooh story where you've got our original adaptation, I should say, where you have the family setting. So you'll start with the family, getting to know the family characters. And then the little boy who plays Roo, it's kind of his daydream that happens. Or he and Tigger go play, and the other family members become characters within the Winnie the Pooh stories.
And Tori, you wrote the music for the first Winnie the Pooh adaptation, and you are revising and probably writing new material for this one.
Yes, I'm excited.
So that's coming up next season. There's a couple of other shows. One was it The God?
The God Committee. Ooh. No, it's really good. It's really good. It's very much a medical drama, but not in the sense of like ER kind of medical drama. This is a committee who meets. It's an organ donor committee, essentially, in the heart replacement.
Yeah.
I'm using the wrong words.
But they have to decide who gets the heart.
Who gets the heart. And it also happens in real time. So there will be a clock going on stage that like starts at like 8:07 and goes like, because you only have so much time after you get a viable heart. Yeah. The decision has to be made and it has to be put in the body. So it's very much tied to the clock and it's very intense and it's very good.
And the dates for the Christmas show are set, although the location is not yet determined.
The location's not determined, but it'll be the first weekend of December.
And then there will be another out-of-the-box production. We will probably say more about that in future interviews. Right. But let's remind people then of this current out-of-the-box production.
Yeah, so we are at Life Community Church in Bluffton, Indiana. And it's on May 16th and 17th at 7:30 both nights.
And if I want tickets to this show or I want to know anything about next season, what do I do?
Head to our website, allfor1fw.org.
Again, my guests today have been Stacey Kuster and Tori Cwanek with All for One Productions. Ladies, thank you for being here today.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.